48 hours ago is the fact that Frank Lampard is now the interim manager over at Chelsea. Now, we spoke about it to both of you in midweek when we were covering the Chelsea-Liverpool game, and we both agreed that, you know, Chelsea should take their time in selecting the next manager, the next permanent manager at least, but they went with Frank Lampard for the time being in the short term. What was going through your head when you first read the news, by the way? Yeah,
when I first heard the news, my first reaction was I thought it was a little bit weird. But afterwards, after thinking about it, I think this is a good decision from the board, because still 10 games to play, with an important game next weekend against Madrid in Champions League. So they needed somebody, you know, who can fit perfectly, instantly into the dressing room. He knows the players, some of the players. Yeah. He was their manager, you know, 2 years ago. He knows perfectly the club, the structure of the club, and he's loved by the fans. He's a legend of the club as well. So I think the board as well, they bought the piece from the fans when they asked him to come back into the dressing room. But I think they couldn't hire another manager because it's too soon. You know, there is only 10 games to go. I think they needed somebody who can fit straight away into the club until the end. Is it better than just sticking with Bruno Salter? What are they hoping to achieve with Frank Lampard, really? Because the way that he left Chelsea wasn't in a great circumstance, and his last job at Everton as well was arguably one of the worst in his managerial career. If you have a look at sort of the points per game won at Everton, it was quite poor. What are they expecting out of him?
Well, I think what is just said, that is Frank is experienced inside the club. He knows everyone, from the sponsors to the players to the board, everyone. So for the short term, I think this is a really good choice. Also, we shouldn't forget that managers, and especially former players, they need experience to become better managers. So I think Frank have learned a lot from his time as Chelsea, but also learned a lot from his time as Everton, and it made him already a better manager. And I think they just want to give him an opportunity to see how far he is now in his manager's career, and maybe if he's doing quite well, he can keep the job.
From my perspective, I think the board at Chelsea have finally made a good decision. When you look at, you know, bringing in Potter and it didn't work out, if you look at some of the signings and the vast sums of money they've spent on players as well, I actually think that Frank Lampard is just the ticket for the remainder of the season. But what is it that he can do that Graham Potter couldn't have done if he were to have stayed till the end of the season? Well, the first thing is Frank comes in with a clean sheet as far as the players are concerned. He had great success there as a player, and he also had a good points per game tally when he was the permanent Chelsea manager as well. Popular with the fans. I think he goes tick, 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 and every box. There is something else as well. I think he will receive the respect from the players in the dressing room, which Potter didn't have, you know, during his spell. Do you think that the dressing room sort of had a broken relationship with Graham Potter at the end there? Of course, definitely. Yes, he was nicknamed, you know, at the end, you know, so they were missing respect, you know, they were disrespecting him so many times. So I think some players didn't have the respect that the manager should have, you know, in the dressing room. Sometimes it's just not working out. And in football world, it works like if it's not working out, the manager gets the blame. And with a slight change, and a new manager, a familiar face, a lot of things can happen in a short time. So I agree with both of you that it's a good decision that Frank Lampard has the interim job. Who knows? Maybe a good news is going to come, you know, with the Champions League, just like Di Matteo. You never know. And Thomas Tuchel. Yeah. That also happened there. Yeah.